look like hell.
Yeah, I just got back.
Number 10. The Nightmare. The Cable Guy.
Why should I help you? I gave you free cable. What have you ever done for me?
Directed by Ben Stiller, The Cable Guy didn't perform well, at least when comparing it to other Jim Carrey films. Part of the reason why was its dark tone. While moviegoers in 1996 wanted another wacky Jim Carrey comedy, they instead got a black comedy thriller about an obsessive and lonely cable guy stalking one of his customers, Steven. Things get so bad for the customer that he has a horrifying nightmare. During the sequence, the cable guy has creepy yellow-green eyes and an echoey voice.
I just want to hang out. No big deal.
He chases and eventually corners Steven in a hallway. Following the nightmare, Steven receives a phone call from the real cable guy, who's sitting in the dark and allowing a spider to crawl across his face.
Don't do this. There must be something we can do to work this out.
I wish there was.
I'm just so tired, Steven. So very tired.
Well,
We feel bad for anyone who watched this expecting another Dumb and Dumber. Number 9. Santa's Intoxicated Entrance. Bad Santa.
You're getting worse, you know that?
Well, at least I got it open.
It took you long enough. I remember the time when you could unlock a lock like it was nothing.
Most of Bad Santa can be placed on this list. Playing against typically warm and gooey Christmas movies, the film introduces us to Willie, a thief with a drinking problem. He poses as a department store Santa so he can case and eventually steal from stores. In one particularly dark scene, Willie shows up to work absolutely hammered.
Have you seen that new Santa they just hired?
Yeah, he's back there drunk.
He rides an escalator while barely conscious, drunkenly strolls in front of waiting kids without his Santa beard, and carries a broken bottle. The children all leave horrified after he destroys a prop animal. While Willie is not a particularly likable character, he certainly makes for a memorable Christmas movie protagonist.
Look here, get him out of here. I'll go smooth things over with Chapeska. Tell him food poisoning or something.
Number 8. Dave Harkin takes Bobby Pellet out. Horrible Bosses. In this dark comedy, 3 disillusioned working men decide to eliminate their bosses.
Hypothetically, if we could do it, and none of us get caught, would you guys do it?
No.
I would.
Deep down, we know, or at least think, that the protagonist won't go through with it. But that doesn't mean that everyone survives the movie. After Kurt steals his boss Bobby's phone, he accidentally drops it in the house belonging to Nick's boss, Harkin. When Harkin finds the phone, he thinks his wife is having an affair. So he gets in his car, grabs his gun, and takes Bobby's life.
Jesus Christ, Harkin just shot Pellet.
Before this point, the plot seemed like an excuse for wacky hijinks. Harkin himself seemed like nothing more than an overbearing boss. But this scene gave the movie real stakes and turned him into a dastardly villain. Talk about a jarring tonal shift.
get out of the car, all of you. Come on, come on.
Number 7. Wrench Whack. Super.
I mean, I wonder all the time why no one's ever just stood up and become a real superhero.
Written and directed by James Gunn, Super is a dark comedy that parodies superheroes and their heroic traits. Rainn Wilson stars as an unhinged man named Frank Darbo who fancies himself a superhero. Donning a red suit and calling himself the Crimson Bolt, one of the first things he does as the Crimson Bolt is deliver some justice to a rude line cutter.
No butts.
What difference does it make to you?
No butting in line.
It's,
You go to the back of the line now.
He strolls up to the man and hits him with a wrench. When the man's friend intervenes, Crimson Bolt attacks her as well. We all know that the line-cutting man was certainly rude, but the brutal and realistic aftermath of his wrench injury was disturbing to see.
And he just uses a wrench as a weapon. I mean, somebody did it. Somebody became a real one.
That sounds like a crazy man.
Number 6. Jason J.D. Dean's Dark Fate. Heathers.
Greetings and salutations. You a Heather?
No, I'm a Veronica Sawyer.
This black comedy stars Winona Ryder as a popular and rich high school student named Veronica Sawyer. Veronica eventually grows close to a new and lonely kid named J.D. He commits a bunch of troubling acts throughout the film, and Veronica eventually learns that JD has twisted intentions to utterly destroy the school.
It's gonna be the kind of thing to infect a generation. I mean, it's gonna be a Woodstock for the 80s.
While Veronica successfully foils the plan and saves Westerberg High, she can't stop him from taking his own life. JD's plan and eventual fate are both extremely dark subjects for any movie, let alone a comedy.
You look like hell. Yeah, I just got back.
Number 5. Shaun takes care of his bitten mother. Shaun of the Dead.
Grab Mum, go to Liz's, pick her up, bring her back here, have a cup of tea, and wait for all this to blow over.
Serving as the first entry in Edgar Wright's Three Flavors Cornetto trilogy, Shaun of the Dead is both a satire of zombie movies and a beloved member of the genre. While the horror comedy is wickedly funny, the third act is particularly gruesome and tragic. After Shaun's mother Barbara is bitten on the arm, he's forced to say a quick goodbye.
Just hold on, Mum, you're gonna be fine.
I never thanked you.
For what?
When she eventually turns, he takes it upon himself to end her reanimated existence. It's a depressing moment that's played to tragic perfection by the hilarious Simon Pegg. No one thought this funny apocalyptic comedy could produce such a tear-jerking moment.
I'm sorry, Mom.
Number 4. Borat Margaret Sagdiev is Patient Zero. Borat subsequent movie film. This surprise comedy sequel to the iconic 2006 original contained many references to the COVID outbreak and subsequent lockdowns.
I searched in nearby village. But for some reason, the streets were completely empty.
Not only does the plot show how Borat deals with the pandemic, but it also contains a rather shocking twist that no one saw coming. A fictionalized version of Kazakhstan's former president, Nursultan Nazarbayev, claimed the first Borat movie made his country a laughing stock. So they infected Borat with the coronavirus before he departed on his journey to the U.S. This turned him into Patient Zero.
Why you wear a mask?
Because of the virus that's going around.
It's gone worldwide. It's all around the world.
As Borat traveled across the globe, he unknowingly spread the virus. It's safe to say that no one could expect a Borat movie to take such a dark turn. Number 3. The Birthday Party. Parasite.
예, 제가 들으려고 들은 게 아니라 제가 들으려고 들은 게 아닌데 통화 내용이 또 들려오니까 어쩔 수 없이 저런
아버지, 지금 감정이 너무 막 여기 위에 올라가 있는데 그것 좀 여기까지 좀 내려보세요.
Serving as a unique blend between comedy, thriller, horror, and social satire, Parasite is hard to classify. While the movie can be very funny, it also contains a terrifying climactic sequence that takes place during a child's birthday party. As the festivities continue, Goon-se attacks Ki-woo. Goon-se proceeds to fatally wound Ki-jong in front of her parents and party guests. After her mother attacks him in retaliation, Ki-jong's father, Ki-taek, takes the life of his boss, Mr. Park. By the end of the birthday party, multiple characters have permanently fallen. One is severely injured and another flees to evade the police. The Kim family never quite recovers from the tragic birthday party, a fact that leaves this hard-to-classify movie on a definitively somber note.
기정이 얼굴을 오랜만에 다시 봤을 때도 저는 계속 웃었습니다.
Number 2. What happens to Chad Feldheimer? Burn after reading.
Manolo found it. On the floor there? Yeah, Manolo found like this CD just lying in a locker. Locker floor, ladies' locker.
Just lying there?
I'm like, what, someone's music or what? And I come in here, and it's these files, man.
This dark Coen Brothers comedy concerns two gym employees who come across the memoirs of an ex-CIA official named Osborne Cox. One of the gym staff members is Brad Pitt's dim-witted but easygoing and likable Chad, who mistakes the files and records on the CD for classified documentation. At one point, he snoops around the Cox house, but things get tense when a U.S. Marshal named Harry shows up there too. Chad decides to hide in a closet.
For you to find your heart, live free.
But when he's discovered, a panicked and scared Harry takes Chad's life. The contrast between Chad's goofy smile and his sudden demise is hilariously startling. It's also one of the most unexpected moments in modern movie history. Leave it to the Coens to craft such a hilarious and dark demise.
So good to hear your voice.
Something wrong?
No. Yeah. Can you come home? Baby needs you.
Number 1. The Wood Chipper. Fargo.
What Shep told us didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Oh no, it's real sound. It's all worked out.
You want your own wife kidnapped?
Yeah.
The Coen brothers are arguably the masters of black comedy. Fargo is their masterpiece in that regard, as it strikes the perfect balance between funny, warm, violent, and tragic. The ending is particularly disturbing. After Gene and Wade are taken out by Gare and Carl, respectively, Gare takes his ally Carl's life. But that's not all. When Marge eventually stumbles onto the scene, she finds Gare using a wood chipper to get rid of any evidence of his crimes. This disturbing scene stands in sharp contrast to the weird and funny tone that carries throughout the bulk of the film. All the exaggerated Minnesotan mannerisms and oh yeahs can't balance out the darkness of this scene.
I just don't understand it.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.